You're listening to the Options Insider Radio Network. For more quality options programs, visit www.theoptionsinsider.com or search for Options Insider Radio Network in your podcast provider of choice. Listeners can also access all of our programming through our mobile app, available in iTunes and on Google Play. Don't forget to follow along with your favorite programs and submit your own questions for the hosts at twitter.com/options. Facebook.com/TheOptionsInsider or via questions at TheOptionsInsider.com.
And the way I look at the markets is quite simply like that. I assume I don't want to be the great white shark, but I want to follow the great white sharks. I don't want to be 2 miles behind the great white shark either. I want to hang around the lead pack, the alpha trader, the alpha male. And that's what StockTwits is. We're building this peloton where you don't have to be the leader all the time. We want to find smart people that are easing the way for us. And this visual is really how I think about trend following in both private and public markets. The peloton. Yes, someone wins the stage. But the peloton is an old concept, right? In Tour de France, it's like together we can pull ourselves up a mountain. Together, we switch off so that we can increase our speed. And that's why social networks are so powerful. That's why StockTwits is growing so fast organically 8 years later, is that we find ways to catapult each other and learn things much quicker. It's really as simple as that. And that's why we treat StockTwits with such respect. We want people we don't want it to take 6 years to learn something that should take you 2 months. That is this era that we're in. And the Peloton, an old example, is how we think of our social network. Next, this is really important for trading and my investing strategy and for how startups and fintech should really think about the world. Has anybody played this board game Risk? Okay, play the game. People, play the game, you young folk. The startup world and the stock market world is a very flat world. If you've ever played this game, you see the area green in the middle, Europe? The same Europe that's going underwater and dying? Very hard place. If you've ever played the game, if you start in Europe with your soldiers, it is a very hard way to win the game. Okay, there's so many borders to protect. You've got countries coming at you. Every time you attack, you leave yourself vulnerable because you're connected to the world in this flat world, very much like startup world. Whereas if you start in the tip of South America or in Eastern Australia and build your armies and slowly move out, works fantastically both as a trading strategy, meaning learn one thing, learn it well. You can't be an expert in all things. And in the startup world, you don't have to boil the ocean. Okay? Facebook started out as a hookup app, as a status app. Twitter started out as a status app. What Facebook's done really well is acquire their way out of the corner of the world into a constellation. Twitter's struggling because they're Europe. They've just built this broad platform that's being attacked from all angles, as Craigslist has been over the years, right? Craigslist has done a much better job because they've been lean and very focused on profitability, whereas Twitter raised all this money, went wide from Europe per se, and now is being attacked from many different angles, and you can see it in their market cap. So when you're a startup, do one thing well. There I am, one of the proudest moments of my life, 30, 40 pounds heavier. What did I do? In 2006, I was inspired by YouTube and the web and the social web, and I started this show, and one of the proudest, I had a nice headline today in San Diego Tribune, but really one of the proudest moments of my short media career was when the New York Times, on the front page of the business section, called us, it's Squawk Box meets Saturday Night Live. And that's a moment in your life where you know someone's going to call you with an offer. That's when you know you've made it, at least in the media business. And a few months later, we did sell to CBS, and I think I put on 30 more. I don't know where they got that picture. I think I had taken like 6 or 7 Ambien, and and I had hair. So Wall Strip was a 6-month rags to riches idea. I wasn't a real entrepreneur. I didn't have a vision for what the end game would be, but my idea was to create 3 minutes a day of interesting, funny Larry David meets the stock market. I worked for CBS. They wanted to fire me within an hour, and Twitter came out. And I was like, video's stupid. Twitter is the pulse. You know, I'm going to create a Twitter for finance. And that was in 2007. I never thought that I'd be standing here 5 or 6 Stocktoberfests later, 8 years into our company's life, still being as passionate about this business. And if you know me, you'll hear some of the classic stories along the way. But StockTwits is stronger than ever, and you're going to see next from Justin and Ian where we're going next with our product. And so what's next? StockTwits, in 2008, I used to run to E-Trade. I'd had so many meetings at E-Trade, Schwab, Fidelity, TD Ameritrade saying, guys, people are living on our app. Shouldn't they be able to swipe and trade right? Let people trade where they live. We've built this trust, this community. We've led the people to the water. Let them drink. And unfortunately, until last year with Robinhood, there was no way to do this. So I stand here before you saying, I've been wrong for 8 years, but we are in the center of what is going to be a tremendous revolution in do-it-yourself investing, through passive, through active. We can argue all day long, and we will, about how it's going to be done. But that ability to swipe right, with Apex who's in the room. Michael Lanyon, are you here? Okay, so Michael, everybody in our business should be wanting to talk to Michael because they've done yeoman's work allowing magic behind the scenes to happen with APIs and fintech companies. But they won't sponsor this conference. So don't be nice to them. But you know, spill a little yogurt on them, whatever you do. But the magic that's happening on StockTwits, and we'll show you some more. This swipe right is the future and what it's going to bring. So we're all here because of millennials. I have 2, can't stand them. There's 80 million of them. My wife likes the millennials, I don't. This is what's exciting. Jason from SparkFin put together. It's huge. 80 million millennials, 30 trillion of inheritance. Be nice to millennials. 75% have not started to save. My son is in debt. 72% don't trust advisors. This is why Josh Brown is crushing it and Barry Ritholtz. 57% want a tech solution. 53% lack funds. These numbers are going to change so rapidly. This is why we're all here. We just don't know how to touch these people. Now, importantly, you should know, Savneet broke his ankle and he won't be here to interview me, so I'm taking up some of his time. He wrote one of the best articles on fintech. Savneet Singh, who runs Gold Bullion International, is an investor in fintech and a super smart, sweet guy. Fintech businesses don't scale quickly. Do not kid yourself. There is only one Robinhood right now. Robinhood is an exception to the norm. This takes 8 to 10 years. It's easy to be fooled by early adopters. It really is. You have to be careful. Fintech is not an acquisitive space. Look at StockTwits 8 years later. Do you really want to be in this space? The fintech sales cycles are really long. There's many of you here who are selling to banks. Oh my God, we hate them, but we have to court them. And customer acquisition is hard to hack. Really is. So these are really, don't lie to yourself when you're raising money or thinking about a fintech company. This is a great blog post. I can refer you to it, but these are really 5 important points. But what's so exciting about this? This is Bill Gurley, who is the hottest VC in the world. He just tweeted, as with sports, Yahoo has now so radically changed the UI in finance that it creates a great time to consider alternatives. That is the 1,000-pound gorilla. And they are done. I don't think I invited them this year. In fact, we have a sign that says no Yahoo. And they are good people. They dominated our industry in the portal world. Okay, this is Bill Gurley saying enough, and this is us. How easy it is in social world for us to just quickly chime in to Bill. That's what you guys need to be doing if you're a startup, is follow Bill and talk to him.
But he didn't reply back to you.
Who cares? He's an idiot. No, I'm just kidding. He's a brown nose, Lou. You hated him. So what's happening now in the markets? A little bit of what's happening in the markets. I'll move quickly. Look what's happening. And Colin Roche, if he's here, he'll be here later. He's one of the great writers on this. Cumulative flows into passive versus active. Whether we call that really passive or not passive, look at where the money's going. Go to where the fish are. This is a woman from BI Intelligence. This is why we're all here and excited. $1 trillion in revenue and fees by 2020 in the wealth management industry. We want some of that pie, and we can share some of that pie together. We've got to get creative in this room. What else is happening in the market? This is the biggest move. This is why millennials will trade. These people are the devil. ProShares, are you in the room? You are the Hillary Clinton of finance. I kid. But ProShares is proving that mood trumps fundamentals. There are now days where triple leveraged reverse VIX indexes trade more shares than the S&P. Think about that. People are trading the mood of what they expect tomorrow to be over the fundamentals of the market. This is just happening. This is not going to go away. This is where behavioral theories are at the tipping point. What is my neighbor thinking? It's not important of if the stock's going to go higher. How stupid are my neighbors? Next is, we keep saying bubble. There was the bubble. Tech as a percentage of the S&P back in '99. The white line, now 20% of the S&P. And you're going to tell me that you're scared about this? We are just getting going. Not there won't be pullbacks. But we're not 50% of our way back to the tech bubble, and tech is everywhere. Largest US companies by market cap, 2006, Exxon, GE, Microsoft, Citibank, Bank Skank of America. Look at that disgusting 5 companies. Hate their shareholders, hate their customers, bad software, kill ducks. Then we go toasters. Now we go to 2016, Apple, we hate them, but we love them. Google, we trust them somehow. Microsoft, they have Minecraft. Amazon, Facebook. Next up will be Tencent and Alibaba. And by the way, by that time, Berkshire Hathaway will be a tech company because they're next after Apple, they'll own Cisco and they'll buy Amazon. So tech is here to stay. Guess what that chart is? That's banks relative to the S&P. That is our competition. That is supposedly our partner. These bastards in crime can't do anything right since the ATM. That is what our partners are clawing back from. And you can see it's death. The S&P, it's just can't rally with the S&P. And this is why we hate Goldman Sachs, $50 billion in fines. Goldman Sachs just recently said, because they know so much, that we're in the second wave of fintech. If you do a Google Trends search of fintech, this is when fintech was cool, 11, 12, and 13. Look what fintech, searching fintech, it's an implosion. Now Goldman Sachs is pushing fintech, so be really careful about headlines. Goldman is late to this party. They're going to be sloppy. They're going to overpay. It changes the dynamics. It's not as easy as it was 3 years ago. So I'm going to give you some ideas and get off stage. Always remember when you think about Amazon, that first chart. Maybe when you're looking for the next Amazon, it's a great book. What's the next Starbucks? Remember, Starbucks could be the next Starbucks. Always remember that what's working could continue to work. And that's why I've created this 8 to 80 list, which I talk about all the time, is finding brands that just can continue to be great as consumers buy them. I really believe in robots. Everybody's scared of them and everybody's talking about them because it's real this time. I own a stock called iRobot. It's broken my heart many times, but they are the big brand. They are one great marketing campaign away from being the Intel Inside, and the stock looks really good. In payments, Visa and MasterCard still control the world. I have a little PayPal because if anybody with Venmo, so the payment world is still, if you look at Visa and MasterCard, an incredible trend. And then I have something called fashology, which is the melding of technology and fashion. Nike, Under Armour, Lulu, buy them when they're weak right now. And obviously Apple, I consider the original fashology company. This is an app that we just developed called SparkFin. Jason's here. It builds lists. This is my 8 to 80 list. You can put together lists here today of products you like and share them with the group, but you'll be hearing from them more. And then finally, my last big idea, I don't have any ideas specifically, but let's think about marijuana. In 1969, 12% of Americans were in favor of marijuana. Today, 57% support legalization. We are on the cusp of really having fun. Oh, wait a minute. We are on the cusp of a revolution. I don't know if it'll be the drug industry or the tobacco industry that owns this in the end. But I have seen 50, 60-year-old friends convert to this, and the products and the Keurigs and the distribution companies and the CRMs of distilleries. We are at what Circle K was, we are about to see in the marijuana. So keep your eyes and ears open in the community, and let's look for ideas around this industry. And I thank you. I'm around. I'm on stage a lot, but you can ask me questions. I'm an open book, so I hope everybody appreciated that. And we're going to keep it going because I'm really excited to bring up StockTwits. We've been, for about a year, working on some new products, and today we're launching them, so you will see them first. Okay, thanks, everybody.
The preceding program was a production of the Options Insider Radio Network. For more quality options programs, visit www.theoptionsinsider.com or search for Options Insider Radio Network in your podcast provider of choice. Listeners can also access all of our programming through our mobile app, available in iTunes and on Google Play. Don't forget to follow along with your favorite programs and submit your own questions for the hosts at twitter.com/options, facebook.com/theoptionsinsider, or via questions at theoptionsinsider.com.